live because even though you don't think it's live, it actually is. Go. And there we are. Okay. Stand by. Hello, everybody. 1 minute. Let me find us. Can you see me, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Go. Hello, everybody. I am finding us and finding all of you. I'm so happy to have Scott here from San Diablo Churros. I need to get into the Zoom account and out of, pardon me just a minute. Let me pull this up. Oh, golly gee. Facebook has changed its platform, and so I've struggled. Okay, there you are. Can you hear me, Scott?
I can, yeah.
And I can hear you, so this is a good day. Welcome, and welcome you from Salt Lake City. I want to welcome Tom Meyer, who is here, and Cynthia Berman. She said she's here, and this is a great day. So you have developed San Diablo Churros, which we are going to be both making these churros together. And I'm very excited to get to do that with you. But before we do that, what is your history? What is your background in the food industry and suddenly coming to all of this?
Yes, absolutely. So I love food so much. And in particular and specifically, I love Mexican food. I was a missionary for my church, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Mexico for 2 years. And that's where I just like fell in love with Mexican culture, Mexican food, the people, everything. And shortly after my mission, I went and did an internship in Mexico City, which is where I had my first fresh filled churros in a small little, like a part of the city called Coyoacan, which is this basically like the churro capital of the world. There's like a churro stand there's like 7 churro stands within like a 3-block radius. And I was like, wow, these are amazing. And so I thought, gosh, we have such mediocre churros in the United States. Why can't we? I just thought it would. One day I thought it would be a good idea to start a churro business. I thought it'd be irresponsible not to bring something so delicious to our lives here. And so that was like an idea in the back of my head for years. And so
let me just ask you this question. What city in Mexico were you in that you had your mission, when you had your mission?
Oh, I was a missionary in Tampico, which is like in the northeast of Mexico, right below Texas on the Gulf of Mexico.
Got it. And how far is the churro capital of the world when you went back as an intern? And by the way, what were you interning in?
Yeah. So I was interning. I studied public relations as an undergrad. And I interned in a international PR firm there called Edelman, and I was there for a summer, and I had never lived in Mexico City, but just fell in love with the city and the energy and the history and the richness of the food and everything else. And so I was doing an internship in Mexico City specifically, and in the southeastern part of the city is this area called Coyoacan, which is, well, I guess it's like south part of the city, but where Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera lived at one point. And it's just like this cool artsy bohemian area that everyone goes to for amazing street food. So
are you in Spanish at this point?
Yeah.
And so you haven't lost it at all. You're still maintaining it.
No, I can't. I love it so much. I actually ended up getting also a master's in Spanish and studied it afterwards. Did that concurrently when I was getting my MBA. So I've had, like you asked about like my journey in the food business. This really is my first endeavor in food. Aside from being obsessed with all things food, like I love to eat and am active so that I can eat. And so
the most basic of instincts we all have is to feed ourselves and to feed others, right?
Yeah.
And so beyond that, it's what do we choose? How do we choose it? You know, and what do we love, and what kind of culture are we from that we bring forth? And, you know, we teach our culture to our children via food very frequently.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So you're in the PR business.
Yeah. So I studied PR,
and that had to be years ago, because I know your age, basically, kind of. And so you went into the PR business and then back to Salt Lake City. You're actually from Vegas originally, correct?
That's right. Yeah. I went to Valley High School, our alma mater, right?
Yeah. There's a few people watching that went to Valley High School, so that's always great.
Go Vikings, right?
Yeah, go Vikings.
Yes. So so I did my undergrad at Brigham Young University. Then I went and worked in public relations at a startup PR firm in Seattle. I lived there for 5 years, and then I went back to get my MBA at BYU as well. And then from that point forward, I've been involved in a totally eclectic mix of businesses. I've been a nursing home administrator. I ran a home health agency. I did consulting with international Fortune 500 companies in Latin America. I started a nonprofit, toy and game company. Eventually, some friends and I started the first all-you-can-fly membership airline in Southern California, and now a churro business. So it's kind of a crazy, eclectic, non-traditional career path for sure.
Well, I would say, but most of us truly have had eclectic, non-traditional careers, because we start out in certain things that we think we want to do, and we get lots of experiences, but we find that our passion isn't there. So we start taking what we learned in those experiences and applying them to what we have passion for and what we learn and what we love. And then it all kind of, like, every moment of your life collides into this one moment. And for you right now, it is churro making. So why don't you talk us through? I've got my supplies. I've got my oil heating up over here, which I'll switch pots as soon as we do the first pot, which is water. So why don't you walk us through that? And I actually want to ask a question to those that are here, but do you remember the first time you ate a churro? And if you did, where was it? Because I remember that mine was at Disneyland, as was my children's. I'd never even heard of a churro, but our children saw something and said, oh, I want to have that. And we all ate it together, and we were hooked from there on. But interestingly enough, I could never find churros anywhere except Disneyland.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we are eternally grateful to Walt and the rest of the Disney crew for introducing churros to everyone. And that is typically, you know, we get, that's a very common thing. Oh my gosh, I love churros so much. Totally reminds me of Disneyland. Or they'll walk by our food truck or our booth or whatever, and they're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love this smell. It just evokes such happy memories, you know?
It smells like Disneyland, right? Because as we know, our senses are in tune with our memories. And so smells bring back memories, which is why being in the kitchen with the people you love is so important. Do you need to talk to somebody? I feel like you're distracted. Do you need to talk to somebody?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I see you turning, like whispering to someone. So I'm saying, if you need to talk to them, go ahead. Go ahead. If you need to, you're good. Okay. All right. So how do we start?
So this is what you have and all the props that you have, and what I have here is what we're calling a Fiesta in a box, the Churro Fiesta in a box. So this is pandemic born. We've been in business for 4.5 years, and with most of what we had done pre-pandemic were catering, so weddings, parties, corporate events, and then for about 3 or 4 months, almost all of those went away for obvious reasons. And so it really made us stop and think, like, what can we do from an innovative perspective to still be in the churro business, but why don't we take churros to the people and give people and empower people to make these amazing, delicious, nostalgic treats at home on their own. And so that's when we looked at, we developed what we call the churro maker. So this is the gadget that you also have. And we'll go through how that works. But there's 9 different nozzles.
Comes in this great box.
Yeah.
With a red bow on it, which I thought was great. And I will say that necessity is definitely the mother of invention, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
many people in the pandemic had to reinvent their businesses in order to be able to survive through it. So good for you for not crumbling and crying, but jumping in and getting it done. And so do you mostly have like food trucks that you were using prior to the pandemic and going out with?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a food truck here in Salt Lake City. We always say we like to go where the party is. We go where the party is. So we'll go anywhere. We've done some weddings and launches in Las Vegas. We've done them in Idaho, in San Francisco. We've done some big parties in Los Angeles as well, and other catering events there. So we will go where the party is, wherever people need some deep fried happiness. And so we will, so that's what we did. And we have a food truck, we have a booth, we have like a bistro cart with bistro lights and has this like really kind of upscale carnival, kind of classy carnival feel to it. So yeah, that's what we did pre-pandemic, and we're still doing that now. And we're grateful that all of those events are starting to come back into play. And many people are obviously with the necessary precautions, but they're starting to gather again. And so we're seeing a lot of events come back online this year, as well as weddings and parties that people were holding off on having. And so, so that's what we did before. And now this is opening up a whole new market for us that really we now send the churro products and our churros anywhere in the United States. So it's super fun.
That's awesome. Okay, so I am heating up my water.
Yes, you're heating up your water. So
basically, and if you could maybe just have your cameraman, because I'm stuck here without a cameraman, I can go like this, but maybe he can do just a little bit tighter shot just as you show the packet, or I guess
Sure, of course.
I think it's working out fine for me, actually. So this is the packet that comes in the box, and it has the complete instructions on the back. And I have taken the first packet and dumped it into a bowl. So it's sitting there. And you said that this is a very precise science. So let's talk about the water and the measuring of the water.
Yes. So the whole goal with the Fiesta in the box is to really in just a few minutes is to be able to make churros from scratch. So that's what we're going to see here. We've created our own churro mix recipe that all you do is just add water. And so what I have here, and if you want to follow me over here.
Hi, Arlene and Mom. Good to have you guys here. We're making churros with Scott Porter in Salt Lake City. He has a new product called Fiesta in a Box, and he owns San Diablo Churro Makers.
That's right. So it's really important.
Mine is in a rolling boil right now. So go ahead. I'm going to
pour
it in.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect. So if you're ready to go, mine's I turned it off for a second because I didn't want too much to evaporate. But what you do is it's just a cup and a quarter of water that you fill up exactly, and then you pour that exact amount into a pot, bring it to a rolling hard boil, which this is almost at. And then if you're ready to go, you can take it off the boil and put it immediately in the dry mix dough. And then you just work all of the water through the dough until it's kind of like a Play-Doh like consistency. So if you're ready to go, mine will probably be just a minute.
I'm going to have to heat my oil, which I was having a little bit of trouble with. But
oh yes.
One thing that you were very precise in telling me is that you measure that water before you boil it. You do not measure it. So what I was going to do is use a tea kettle, boil it, and then measure it, and then put it in. And you said no, that's not the precise. The precise is measure it first and then rolling boil. So this is turned into Play-Doh. And tell us about the Play-Doh.
Okay, so once you have it, once it looks like Play-Doh and you feel like it's well mixed, then you're ready to do either one of two things. You can put it directly in the churro maker, ready to like get the churros going, or you can refrigerate and save it for later too. I know we're obviously going to make them now. So I'm also at a rolling boil. If you want to show the water here, the hard boil, and we're like ready to go. So I'm going to immediately turn it off, take it off, and we will put it in the dry mix. Go.
Okay. Welcome or growl while you do that. My mother
What's that?
here.
Sorry.
I am welcoming a few of our gatherers.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, welcome everyone.
So happy to have you talking to
So great to have you all. Thank you.
Yeah. And we're making churros. So my oil is heating up. It needs to get to 375. So let me just talk about oil while you're doing your mix. Normally you deep fry in canola oil, but Nanny Bubby is not high on oils that are not natural oils. And so you make your own choice, but for me, it would definitely be off-brand and against what I am working to do with food and with people that I love in food, and to use canola oil. So I am using avocado oil, and it boils much differently than canola oil. But I talked to Scott about it. Oops, I lost you, Scott. Your cameraman turned your video off by accident. So maybe he can, oh no, we lost him. He's gonna have to come back. Goodness gracious. Well, he'll pop in at any time. I'm heating this up to 375 degrees. But again, I just wanted to tell you, I'm using avocado oil. Avocado oil has a very high smoke point. And so I am hoping that this works out very good. It's a very clear organic avocado oil, so I think it's going to be great. It's making a very loud noise. And what I am going to do, oh my gosh, I was going to use him to talk me through it, but hopefully he comes back. We're going to fill this San Diablo artisan churro maker with the dough, which is the consistency of Play-Doh. And what's really fun, well, that's a first where I lost my guest on Zoom. And hopefully he will log back in. There he is. Okay, there you are. I'm
sorry,
but
I needed to get my my phone was on. I got a call, and so with Zoom, unless you're on, anyway, it like disconnected. So I'm so sorry. I'm back.
Well, that's okay, because there's not a person who's watching who hasn't been on Zoom when their phone has rung. So we all know what happened. I
apologize.
No, we all know that. We all been there, done that. Listen, it's the world of Zoom and how it all works. So, okay. So I have all of mine in, I put it all in my tube.
Great.
While you were gone, and I was talking about the oil anyway, which you've already heard my sad turd story, so you didn't need to hear that again.
So I'm going to do the same. I'm just putting mine in.
Okay.
And then we will.
Oh, I don't think I left enough room here at the top, so let me.
Sometimes there's air pockets in there too, so you could either scoop it out or push it down a little bit.
Yeah, got it. Now the really cool thing about this is that it's not a pump, which actually gives you more control. I found is that you are actually turning it, and you can see there it comes. So this is not at 375 yet, so I'll just kind of take that off and do it later, right? And I want to talk, Scott, about all the different nozzles that come. Sure. So I'll pull out these nozzles, and in the Fiesta in a box. Now, also, as I understand it, you are only taking pre-orders. So if I go online to sandiablochurros.com and order, it's a pre-order, it is not coming tomorrow. So if people are pre-ordering, how long does it take to get out?
So there are like all of the products that you see here are available currently on our website. And so what is the pre-order is the actual like Fiesta in a box with everything together, because we're waiting on some last components of the manufacturing process to arrive in the next week or so.
So
And
they
so
can a la carte. They can a la carte order
Correct.
all of those things. It just doesn't come in a beautiful Fiesta in a box.
Right, and it will, if you want to pre-order, that will come. We'll be able to start shipping those at the end of the month of May. And so up until then, and I'd love to offer a special deal to any of your viewers that are watching.
Yes.
If anyone wants to purchase something for national delivery on our website, which is sandiablochurros.com, there's a big red button that says national delivery with a map of the United States. If you click that, and the discount code is Nanny Bubby, which you can imagine, it will give you 20% off anything on the website.
That's great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah.
They are very loyal, lovely gatherers, and I adore them greatly. Laura Grouse said delightfully. She's watching. She says it's very delightful. So let's talk about these tops. This is the traditional churro maker. Not sure if you can see that, see through it, see the hole through it. And you've got all these different designs, which I think are fantastic. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so these, I mean, everyone has had like different experiences with churros. And so there's all sorts of fun designs. We recently, like there's a kind of a moon design. There's a flat squiggly one. I mean, you can get so creative. There's a big one for churros that you may not want to fill. This is the one that we've used. This is almost like for like high precision churro making. So we actually, we catered a 16th birthday party, and by special request, they wanted to see if we could create a 16 out of churros. And so we did. We used this one, and we like formed it around and then attached it together, and we just fried it as a 16. So we did a 16, and we also did a heart. So there's all sorts of fun things that you can do and experiment with. The other thing that like doing this in your own kitchen is that you also get,
I'm at 375 and I don't want it to get any higher. So should we start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No problem. So as you can see,
I just ask that your cameraman is able to take a look into your bowl, because I cannot get my camera to go inside my pot.
oh, when we're
Yeah.
oh yeah, of course, yes, when we're
So
frying.
I want them to see you first. Maybe I can slide it in. This oil's hot. Wait, hold on 1 second. I really want them to see. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Just you know, this is great. This is the live, you know, component that you can't live without. But I really want to see if I can get closer. There we go. At least they can see a little bit of it. They won't be able to see me so much, but are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So you can see that I just twisted a little bit of the dough out. So you can see that this is gonna make a churro that's hollow, which is what's so great about that, we think, is that churros are meant to be filled, and you get to fill them with all sorts of magical things. And so that allows you to make the filled churro, and you basically just squeeze this out, kind of like we did when we were kids on Play-Doh barbershop, right? Like squeezing hair out there. I should use some of that now. Okay, so this is so this
Nobody noticed till you said something.
Right, totally. Yeah. And so I'm just gonna twist this out. And then what I like to do is take a knife or my finger, and then you want to get closer to the oil so that you can see them frying there. And then I like to kind of pinch off the end, so that way when in a minute you'll see when we start filling the churros, the filling just doesn't come all the way out. And so I'm just going to put them in there. You can see, usually we say that each one of these packets of the churro mix makes about 13 churros this size. So I'm going to make about half of those right now.
I think this
and
one.
You see that they're turning golden brown.
Yep.
And so
hey, Teresa is here. Teresa, we are talking to Scott Porter, who is a Valley High School graduate as well. So is Teresa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My class. Okay. We are making.
So this one's done. And then I'm just going to put them off and onto a plate that has, you know, a paper towel on it, or you could do anything. You could do anything a little bit more sophisticated if you'd like. but like a strainer or a
What's your
grater or
trick?
something.
Scott, what's your trick to holding the temperature of your oil? Because mine already, you know,
Is hot.
Well, it went up, and then when I started adding, went down to 340. So these came out very nice and golden, but not as golden as yours.
Yeah, and that's okay. With the oil, when you put cold dough, well, I guess the dough isn't super cold, but when you put dough that is maybe room temperature or colder inside hot oil, it will impact the temperature, but you're doing like a small enough batch that it shouldn't make that major of a difference. Like even if you started frying them at 340, you would be fine.
Okay.
You would be fine. Yeah.
All right. So there's a pinch.
So we're going to take these over here.
Oh my God.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. It's so easy. And I think that honestly, the way that you did or talked about doing the dough so precisely, and that it would come out texture-wise like Play-Doh, I knew I was in the right, area.
Yeah.
So do I take
because sometimes people think it's a little bit more of a batter, like a pancake batter or even like a biscuit batter, but it's actually we've used like the dough that we make from scratch when we use flour, butter, water, eggs, salt, and Mexican vanilla. It's actually more of like a pâte à choux dough, and so that's what this dry mix is mimicking, is that pâte à choux dough texture and consistency, because that then gives you the churro that's crispy on the outside, and then it's soft on the inside.
And so when you went to the city, what is the name of the city that is
Mexico City?
No, the churro capital of the world.
Oh yeah, so it's a part of the city, a neighborhood called Coyoacán.
Okay, so when you went to Coyoacán and you learned with their dough how to make this, was theirs also the consistency of Play-Doh?
You know what? That is a really interesting question, because frankly, all I did was eat and appreciate in Coyoacán. So I wasn't there. I didn't go back to Coyoacán to study the churros until I had already launched San Diablo. I know, is that so weird? So I ate them and appreciated them, but I wasn't paying attention to any of the logistics of how they were running their business. It was mostly like, these are delicious, someday. And then a friend of mine, who's this incredible chef, he's like Picasso in the kitchen, he's amazing. I went to his restaurant, and San Mateo, and he said he made these homemade churros as part of his restaurant. And I was like freaking out, losing my mind. They were so delicious. And I said, gosh, Sam, these are amazing. I've always wanted to start a churro business. And he's like, well, do you want the recipe? And I said, sure. And he's like, yeah, this is my grandma's recipe from Oaxaca, the southern part of Mexico. Oh, and I said, wow, okay, well, I can use this if I start a business. He said, sure, I don't care. And so that is the recipe. We've since modified it a little bit, but that was the base foundational recipe that we used. Our first pastry chef, Mindy Booth and Sheridan, used to create our what is now the San Diablo recipe, which is actually, so on the churro maker box, there's a code here that anyone that purchases the box can scan for a secret page on our website that will take you to our recipe book. And we give away our award-winning dough recipe. We just won Best of State for the third year in pastry for here in Utah. And so you can get that full recipe, a gluten-free version, a vegan version, as well as like 40 different filling flavor ideas, like pretty amazing stuff, even savory fillings. So that's kind of fun.
That's really amazing. And it's lovely that you're just giving the recipe, and then, if they want churro in a box, I mean, what a great holiday gift to give somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
So super fun. I mean, some people.
Can I just say for Hanukkah, because it's for Hanukkah, it's whatever is fried, right? And
yes, yeah.
well,
and what we're finding is that some people are starting new traditions, right? So whether it's a holiday related tradition, or, you know, every time someone in the family has a birthday, we make churros, or it's been really fun to see people like feel empowered that they can make a specialty dessert very quickly and very easily. You know, I love it when you're like, oh my gosh, this was so easy. That makes me so happy, because that's what we're going for.
So I don't find donuts easy, and it's not something that I've ever wanted to do. It kind of looks scary to me, and I don't like to deep fry. I mean, deep frying is not something I do. We do a lot of deep frying for Hanukkah, because I believe there's a time to feast and a time to fast, and Hanukkah is one of the greatest feasts in the world. So let's have at it. It's one of the happiest holidays that we celebrate. And but I mean, this I would do for my family for Hanukkah. This is fantastic, right?
Oh, awesome.
This could be a brand new tradition for
everything
that comes for Hanukkah. So let me just let me just move us to this new area, which is we're going to now season, right?
Correct. Yep.
These have cooled on the paper towels. And have they cooled too much to hold the cinnamon sugar?
No. I mean, it's like no, it's a great question, but they'll be fine. The cinnamon sugar will adhere, and if you always need to re-up on cinnamon sugar, there's no shame in like just pouring some more on.
Okay.
At any given point. So I'm gonna cinnamon sugar these. So when the cinnamon sugars that we sell, we grind our own cinnamon. This is the classic cinnamon sugar version. We grind our own cinnamon, mix it with sugar. We also have, and you have them there too, we have a Diablo style, which is cayenne cinnamon sugar. And then we have
that.
And then we have Inferno style, which is habanero cinnamon sugar for anyone that likes it a little bit more spicy.
Right.
And then for anyone that is crazy, I believe that you have a La Muerte style, which is ghost pepper cinnamon sugar. And we may or may not have had people foaming at the mouth when they eat that one. So that one's a little bit, fair warning, that one's really, really spicy.
The La Muerte is the really
La Muerte, yes.
And then
so I'm just gonna use the classic cinnamon sugar on these.
Where is the original cinnamon sugar Inferno style? And this is La Muerte, and this is classic. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of a classic on this.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good. There's something about like sugar and cinnamon on like a deep fried pastry that just like takes you to a really special place.
You know, it does. It really actually does, which is quite lovely, honestly.
Well, it's so fun. It's like, you know, we do events in like, we do them at fairs and festivals, but we also do upscale and really high-end events and even ones in large arenas. And I mean, there's something about the cinnamon scent that like it draws people in. And then you mix in the hot oil with it. And like everyone comes running because they're like, what is that? I need that I need to eat that right now, you know?
And this is the one with the cayenne. So let me ask you this. Tell me this. You want to know why I don't like to deep fry? I don't know what to do with the oil.
Right, I know. Well,
some tricks about that. Like, what are you going to do with? You probably just use your oil over and over again? Do you, or what? Yeah. But I'm not deep frying again. So I've got an inch and a half of oil here.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's kind of like, so what I would suggest doing is if you are planning on deep frying again, whether you are or not, like just wait till it cools to room temperature and then use a funnel and maybe put it in like a milk carton or some sort of, maybe even the container it came in. I know yours was glass with the pouring spout, so that might be difficult. But some of them are like big plastic containers that have a fairly large mouth, and then you can just put a funnel and put them back in there, and you can save it for later if it's not too dirty. And what does dirty oil mean? I mean, literally, oil oil can last for quite a while. This oil that I have right here is still really clear.
Right? It can be
yeah, and this oil right here is still really clear. There are some little particles in it from left out pieces of dough that got settled in there, but it's still pretty clear. I would put that back in a container, and I do. I put it back in a container, and then I'll reuse it. No problem.
So
now, if you're not going to fry, sorry.
Well, I was just showing them the sweet cream.
Oh yeah. You ready to fill?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
So has this had the hollow point on it, everybody? It's hollow, and I'm just going to take this sweet cream and just pour. Right?
And I've got raspberry here.
Yeah, it's not coming out this is not coming out really easy. I don't think I'm strong enough to squeeze it out.
Well, what sometimes you can do is and what I've done on the raspberry here is I've actually taken kitchen scissors and snipped off the top because the actual size of the opening is quite small. So it makes sense that you're having a little bit of a tough time.
Okay, let me do that.
So if you snip that off, it should come flowing out in abundance.
All right, let me do that.
And then this one is, this is the raspberry filling. Oh my gosh, looks and smells so delicious.
You're getting so excited over something you do every day.
I know. Well, the thing is, it's like literally, I mean, we say it's deep fried happiness, but this is something that I didn't fully realize when I started the business was like, I love churros, and I am pretty sure other people love churros. This is when I started the business. But what I totally underestimated was how intense the emotional reaction is to churros. It's different that I've noticed than other desserts, other sweets. I mean, people love ice cream, people love cookies, people love cupcakes.
Right, but why do you think that is? I mean, oh my God, I made a huge mess, but maybe that's what this is all about. So this is...
yeah, we like to say it's a sticky business, yeah. You know what? I think there's a number of things. I think there's, when you eat a churro, whenever you have had an experience with a churro, typically they're in very happy moments. So those are moments when you were maybe like you were at Disneyland with your family. You're literally in the happiest place on earth, right? Like, and so you're automatically associating all of those positive like endorphins and happiness and everything. And then you eat this and you're just like taken to this other world, you know? And so whether it was at Disneyland or at the fair with grandma and grandpa, or after your, maybe you studied abroad in Spain or in Chile or Guatemala or something, and you always got a churro after class. All of those like celebratory happy moments are they're like strong. Like you were just talking about, like the power of food to connect us, right, to memories and things. And that's what I didn't fully realize that when I started the business, how strong that tie is and how positive that is towards churros. Like we will literally have people like, oh my gosh, churros are my favorite thing in the world. And they're just like gushing at us. And it just makes us, I mean, we just laugh. And so when we say we're bringing deep fried happiness.
Yes. I just found out what my problem was. I removed the seals on the shakers, but I didn't realize that there were seals.
Oh, whoops.
So
it happens. Yeah,
so that's good. I've got them off. So now they're flowing like amazing.
You're in the land of milk and honey now.
Yes. So there we go. Look at that. That comes out beautifully. Just okay. So now, let me just tell you, I believe so strongly, and this is something that I talk about very frequently to all of those who come and gather with us, is that your children and your grandchildren want to walk into your home and they want to smell what gives them the best memories they've ever had. And that may be a new memory, it may be an old memory, but cooking, the most basic of instincts that we have is to cook for ourselves, to feed ourselves, and to cook for our children and our children's children. And the thing about it is that if you want to hold your family close, it starts with food. So if you weren't cooking when your children were growing up, then it is time. You can reinvent yourself. You know, a lot of us burned our bras and burned our aprons and went off to work, and it was very hard to juggle a family and to cook and to be a working professional where most of my generation was. But as we are going into retirement right now, you can make up for that which you wish you might have done when your children were little. And churros might just be the first place to start. Like, hey, come on over on Sunday and go swimming. We'll have hamburgers and a churro party. And that starts that connection to whoever you are. And and this is what I am passionate about.
I love that. I really do. You know, ever since I started the business, I have nieces and nephews that, like, every time they see me, they're like, "Did you bring the churros? Are we gonna make churros?" And so it's become, you know, we do it at Thanksgiving. We've started to do it at birthdays at any moment, and now that we can, we don't even have to like making the dough is so easy. We can do it so quickly. And we've just it's been such a fun thing. I mean, to see my little 4-year-old nephew Harrison get his hands on the churro maker and twist it with both of his hands it's super fun.
Just because you're working with hot oil, how do you protect the kids? Let's talk about
that. I mean, you just need to,
I just want everybody to see, I filled this one with the raspberry jam. So let's see how that works. Maybe put a little more. I think I went a little light on the cinnamon and sugar at first.
Oh yeah, I would go, well, as generous as you want. Some people like the light cinnamon sugar. I'm more of a heavy cinnamon sugar kind of guy, but yeah. So you asked about how to be careful with the kids and the oil. I mean, I would just strongly recommend, you know, supervision. If like, and every kid is at a different level of coordination and development. And so, I mean, you probably have a good idea, but they can, like, literally my 4-year-old, I'm supervising, and his parents are there as well, my 4-year-old nephew. And he's like, and we just put him in the oil, and he's really careful. And I watch him, and he's not throwing him in the oil. You don't want to do that, obviously, but like letting him in nicely. And so, yeah, and kids learn fast. And so I would just strongly recommend supervision. Oh,
I'm so sorry. You know what just happened?
You ate the spicy.
No, just sprinkling the cayenne.
I know. Well, just imagine how it is when.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. It was a cayenne. Oh my God. Am I doing that? Remind me to, you know, be careful of that next time we come. I think it's not stopped. I think I'm going to continue. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. So imagine what that's like when we actually make it. Imagine what that's like when we're making it in the kitchen, because we're mixing it together. So yeah.
But that did not come from eating it. That just came from when I was sprinkling it. So that's, I mean, God forbid I do the one with the white pepper, the Mierto, right? How bad is that? Do I dare try? I'm not going to try it on camera. That's for sure.
Yeah, you may want to say that for another time.
Scott said, you can't really surprise him too badly, but I think that might have surprised you a little bit. Okay, so.
I love it.
Everybody, I'm so sorry, but yes, that is my normal sneeze. Just ask my family. Okay, so I am trying the cayenne pepper right now.
Okay.
Cross your fingers.
Well, and that one's really mild. I mean, mostly in the air, is it gets caught in your like windpipe and stuff, but it's that one will be pretty mild. It's a good gateway for the spicy churro lover.
It's a good gateway. Oh my God. It's a gateway drug. It is a gateway drug. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Scott? We've had so many people. You're getting a lot of phone calls there, Scott. There you go. You're back. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? I did want to make this one point, is that all of us can remember being at Disneyland. And by the way, I think that was everybody's first introduction to churros. There is no doubt about it, at least back years ago. Now everybody's making them. Mexican restaurants are all serving them. But the one thing that I was really attracted to about this and the recipe and everything else is that it is churros for adults. We've got the classic cinnamon sugar and the, creme de leche, the sweet cream filler, which is great for, all the kids. But if you're sitting around watching a game and it's a group of guys and you're drinking beer, you can make churros with habanero, cayenne, and white pepper, the muerte. I can speak Spanish. I'm having trouble with that. And you have yourself an adult churro. And I think that's what just up levels this entire thing is the adult point of all of it.
For sure. And the other thing I was just going to add too, like some things that a lot of people like is they'll take either pink Himalayan salt, or I have like some rock salt here from sea salt from France. And we'll just like put this on top of a dulce de leche to kind of do a salted caramel, You can do the fun thing about being able to make the churros at home is that you get to experiment with all sorts of fillings, and you could do, like, you don't have to cinnamon sugar them, but you could like make your favorite pulled pork recipe and do as like pulled pork appetizers with churros, and put your favorite barbecue sauce on top. And then all of a sudden you have something that's totally different and a new kind of experience for entertaining, but you can use honeys. This is a fudge that I have, syrup, jams. Like I mentioned, we have the recipe book. There's like 40 different filling recipes, everything from like lemon curd to gingerbread cookie butter to, cookies and cream, or like a dark chocolate ganache with raspberry, so there's all sorts of fun, and you get to experiment. One of our favorite, go ahead.
One of your favorite Vikings, fellow Vikings, just wanted you to repeat the name of the website, and then I will post the website in the chat once we get out there. But tell us the website again.
Sure. The website is sandiablochurros.com. And then we have a special discount code for anything on the website. Nanny Bubby is the discount code, so it's easy for everyone to remember. And that gets you 20% off anything to be sent anywhere in the United States.
Okay, San Diablo, and it's churros with an S?
Correct. It's churros plural. Yep.
Okay, I'm putting it in the chat right now as we speak.
Great. Thank you.
.com, and there we go, and then 20% off.
Mm-hmm. And the discount code is Nanny Bubby.
All one word?
All one word.
Capital N?
It doesn't matter. You can put it if you'd like, but it will still take it without any capitals.
I want to make sure. www.sandiablochurros.com, Nanny Bubby, 20% off discount code. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Scott. It was a pleasure to have you here. I wish you the best.
So wonderful to be with you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for reaching out to me. It was quite lovely. Your team did a good job, and I'm so happy to have had you here. I'm thinking to myself, we probably should have waited and done this on Cinco de Mayo.
Well, we're just prepping, right? We're just getting ready, building the excitement, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, all the best to you. Stay in touch. Come back.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Take
everybody.
care.
Oh, Scott, before you hang up, we always say before we go, I say 1, 2, 3, let's say it all together. And we say together, let's go out and spread love like butter. That's my tagline here.
I love it.
If you'll say it with me, that will be.
Sure.
So I'll tell you when to come in. So on the count of 3, let's go out and ready, go. Spread love like butter.
Butter.
There you go. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, everybody. Bye.